Hi there, my name's Jonny Niesche. I'm a Sydney-based artist and I've been asked by Michael Staniak and Stephen Cox to do a little studio visit for Hunted Visits. So I'll flip the camera around and we'll get the studio visit started. So this aspect of the studio is walking in from the front door, shared space, reading, where we eat, and we usually play ping pong, but due to COVID at the moment, I'm the only one here, so it's pretty quiet actually. It's kind of lonely, to be honest, but it's nice to be able to make work nonetheless. So coming into my space, tools are a very big part of my practice. Really important for the precision outcome of the minimalist style works that I make. And that is not a minimalist style mess. I'm a pretty messy artist, to be honest. The outcome of the works, fortunately, is not so messy, but yeah, this is pretty standard practice, the way my studio looks. This little spot, my dad was getting a bit bored. He came to the city and didn't have his workshop anymore, so I invited him to come into the studio. And so he comes in and makes beautiful little wooden boxes. But of course, due to COVID, he hasn't been in for a month or so, but hopefully that will change pretty soon. So this is what I'm working on at the moment. I'm working towards a show at Station Gallery in Melbourne. It's meant to happen in May, towards the end of May. We'll see, who knows what's gonna happen. Things are pretty unpredictable at the moment. So this work is based on digital colour samples from a Dries van Noten collection. Multiple layers of dye sublimation prints onto a transparent fabric, which is stretched over a frame, an aluminium frame that I designed. You're actually looking through the image at the wall. So the painting in itself becomes part of the architecture. I'm interested in work that is always moving, vibrating, never sits still, kind of denying the static, two-dimensional image and having more of a physical or embodied outcome between the view of the work and the space in which it's exhibited. Always shifting and in a state of flux. You can see the sculpture here is painted with auto paint. It's called a Harlequin flip-flop paint. So as you navigate or move around the work, the paint changes colour. So the works themselves are more like an experience or an event. Performative. And here's the work table where I make the work. I made this table around Christmas time. It can take up to a ton of weight. And the paintings, I make them on a Lazy Susan, so I can get to all aspects or angles of the painting based on the Lazy Susans that you get in a Chinese restaurant when you have dim sum or yum cha. It's great to work on. I also pulled out a model to show you. I've currently got a show on at Zella Van Almsick in Vienna called Cosmos Cosmetics Volume 2. The first iteration was at Minerva Gallery in Sydney a few years back, and this is the second installation of it. My dad actually made this model as part of his rent. Not really, but he did make the model. And if you look up online at the show, you'll see that this is actually the exact way that we hung the show in the end. Of course, I couldn't be there due to COVID, but Cornelis and Magdalena sorted it out beautifully, exactly as planned here, and also changed the floors to a white floor. And then you get this creamy haziness within the space and the works start floating. It becomes about light. this blurry haziness, which I experienced at Christmas time. We all did in Australia due to the bushfires. You almost see the air. So I always have a corner section set up in the studio with a white floor to play with variations, ideas, seeing what relationships I can get happening between the works. It's just kind of like a play area in a way. My favourite Warren MacArthur chair where I sit and think. Thanks to Will Cook, a nice prezi. And here's one more of the paintings for the station show. And there's my messy desk. The last thing I'll show you is my son comes and leaves little pictures and sticks them all over the walls. So I hope you enjoyed the tour of my studio. Hopefully everything will get back to normal soon. I wish you all great health and stay safe. See you later.